Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Fantasy TV, where we showcase entrepreneurs, DJs, artists, and everything under the umbrella of nightlife. Today, I have with me one of my good friends. I met this brother at Royal Connections earlier this year, and ever since then, the amount of aspects we've networked and opportunities that we've linked upon is tremendous. I'm talking about from the amount of networking events that we've had, to blueprints that we've done, to podcasts that we've even come up with in a span of 6 months. I met this brother in March, and look where we at now. My brother Breece, welcome.
So it's a pleasure, buddy. I appreciate you for having me on this platform, especially after coming through to Road Connections and showing love to my event, and also to coming to my podcast, What's Cooking Podcast, for all y'all that don't know. Hottest platform for all the entrepreneurs, creatives, and business professionals around New York City and around the world, because that's what we're aiming for, and that's what we've been going for so far. Had a lot of people coming from different states, have people from other countries, and actually have some pending people, well, depending on when this releases, have some people that came from other countries as well that are going to be a part of the show. So, it's definitely a pleasure to see how far networking has went for me as well as yourself, because we've made magic so far,
That's a fact, definitely.
Yeah.
And from this, hopefully with this new podcast episode coming out, a lot of New Jersey artists want to tap into your app platform that you have. What's Cooking Podcast is open for all genres, entrepreneurs, businessmen. If you have a new side hustle that you've been processing for and you already been in the works for it, hit my man up. If you want to discuss your background story of how you started, your ins and outs, how you run your business, he's the man to talk to. New Jersey, tap in, ladies. Now, I want you to break down What's Cooking NYC. What is that? What is this podcast? And why did you want to start it, my man? Talk to me.
Yeah, so shout out to my boy Feek, Shafiq. His episode is out now. I was actually going to give you your flowers. I'm going to give him his flowers too, because I dropped both of your episodes back to back. And the reception has been pretty high, especially on the content side. There's people, they love how well-spoken you are. They love his story as well. And, both you guys have been getting a lot of good reception so far. So definitely give you your credit for that. But Shafiq wanted to do like a podcast, just a general podcast, nothing like niche specific. It was more so just talk about just about everything from life to sports to, the relationship stuff. Like he wanted to do everything basically. And I was the only person that was on board with it. All his friends were like in the group chat with us, but like nobody's really saying much. And, eventually he just said, man, nobody want to do this, bro. Like, he's like, it's just me and you talking in here. I'm just like, okay, but that don't mean we can't just do it ourselves. You feel me? But then, life was going on and stuff. He's a father now, so it's like, life happened. And I felt like I just want to go my own direction, and on top of it, so I just want to start something up for myself, like, and let me put out there for the horoscope people. I'm a Virgo, right? So one thing that I hear a lot about Virgos we're people that don't like to ask.
September babies. That's not your thing.
No, I'm actually August.
Hey,
8/27, you feel me?
Yes, sir.
But what's it called? So going back to what I was saying, I'll be sorry, audience, I'll be stuttering a lot. But so going back to what I was saying, with the podcast though, it's just me being the typical Virgo. It's like I'm not gonna wait around for anybody to do anything. I'm just gonna do it myself. Right. So I devised a plan on wanting to do a podcast. I just didn't know what the niche was gonna be, what the topic was gonna be. I definitely wanted to stay away from the relationship stuff, because I feel like it's a lot of nonsense. And on top of it too, it's just like, when it comes to different industries, everybody wants to listen to the people that have results, right? That's always what it's going to be about. So if you want to be somebody that's excellent in sales, you're going to listen to the guy that does $1 million in sales on a monthly basis, not even a yearly basis, right? When it comes to, fitness, you're going to want to like take advice from the guys that, have the most muscle, that could bench the most and deadlift the most. You want to listen to those guys, right?
You want to listen.
So when it comes to relationship podcasts, you let in like a reel from somebody you don't know from nowhere, that's not married, to like, ruffle your feathers because you disagree with what they said. And I feel like that's where the negativity and all like the controversy behind those type of podcasts come from, because it's like, you're so result driven and you're so inclined to listen to people that have results. But then it's like, again, if you listen to a random on Instagram say something you don't like, now all of a sudden, it bothers you. So I definitely want to steer clear of that. So I said, I want to do something where I can have guests, of course, because I honestly personally wouldn't know what to talk up to my audience about on a weekly basis or monthly basis, whatever it is, right? I didn't even know how many times I wanted to drop a month. But of course, I drop weekly. But I didn't know what I wanted to do at first, right?
I love the consistency.
Yeah, there was a lot of like question marks to my plan. And for me, I was just like, you know what? It's cool. We're gonna go the entrepreneur route because I seen my boy Fetty. Shout out to Fetty Bruno, Prolific Fabric, one of the hottest, if not the hottest, fashion line in New York right now. Especially for the young brothers, the what do you call it, the drill community.
That's a fact.
A lot of people in the drill community been rocking Prolific since like the early Chef G, 22 G's type of days, like
come on now,
2017, like you know, the Busy Bakes, all of that.
Well, let me take this time to shout out one of my peoples, man, Prolific Fabric. Shout out, you can search this up on the Instagram right now, prolific.fabric. For all you guys looking out for new sweatsuit drops for the winter, search up on Instagram, on Google. Thank you.
Yeah,
and back to what you were saying.
Yeah, so for him, it was like, I didn't know him personally yet. Actually, when he did the episode, I definitely didn't know him. When the episode dropped is when I met him, because shout out to my producer Ross. Ross was doing a podcast called The Other Side Podcast, where he was interviewing the drill rappers and whatnot.
The Other Side Podcast.
The Other Side. He doesn't do it anymore, but he does have a show called The Red Couch for all artists that are like into the instrumental. So if you do music but you could play guitar, he's looking for you. If you could play the piano, he's looking for you, right? But the Red Couch, right? That's his platform that he's doing right now. He also just got engaged this week too, so shout out to him. Big shout out to him. You know, that's really a young guy that's really doing what he's doing, and he definitely deserves his flowers. I know I say thank you a lot to him, but he's somebody I definitely always got to make sure I highlight him for everything he's done for me, from not just a technical standpoint from our platform, but also to just the influence that he had, him and his boy Kwani. You know, they really motivated me to do what I do today on my platform. So, like I said, so Fetty was doing his podcast with them, and I was just like, that was the first time I seen like a fashion designer do a podcast. I don't really watch podcasts, or I should say listen, because technically podcasts weren't always visual. I didn't really always listen to podcasts, but I didn't always watch those YouTube shows, interviews, stuff like that. So I didn't know that this is regular. Of course, like business people do these type of press runs all the time when they want to, you know, put their stuff out there. But the thing is, they'll do it on like platforms that aren't centered around it. So it's like, if you're used to, let's say you're a fashion designer. Well, no, I'm sorry. Let's say you're a platform that does music, and then all of a sudden you have a fashion designer up there. Your audience could be like scratching their head, like, well, why is he here? In this case, it made sense because the drill scene, there was a lot of drill rappers they were interviewing. So now it's like the sweatsuits that these dudes wear in the music videos and T-shirts and all that. You have the designer coming in, but it's like, let's say this is like, I don't know, like On the Radar, and it's like On the Radar just randomly had like a hot fashion line up there. You could be like, well, this isn't music related, so what are they doing up here, right? So for me, I know I've been going in circles here, but for me, it was just like, well, I want a platform where all the entrepreneurs could come up, and at least that would be the niche. So it's like, you know, my audience will be people that are into entrepreneurship, or people that are interested in listening, or people that are curious on learning about the ins and outs of different industries and possibly wanting to tap into themselves. So I started with that, and he was one of my first one of the first people I had scheduled. I don't believe I'm trying to think. No, actually, yeah, he was one of my first. I think he was like my fifth guest, but yeah, most of the people that were on my shows were people that I personally knew, people that I'm friends with. And then as I started to grow my platform, more people started to reach out to me and whatnot, as yourself. And then that's kind of where we got to today, right now, you know. So we're very close to 2K on Instagram. So, you know, sounds little, but we getting there. You feel me? There's other businesses out there that's been around longer than us that ain't even hit 1,000 yet. So no shade to them. But at the same time, we're not going to knock down, you know, our credibility.
But speaking of which, your slow but progressive growing and engagement rate on Instagram, I'd like you to speak more up on that. So growing up, as in like not growing up, my apologies, but the foundation of the business, What's Cooking Podcast, right? Could you remember the time of when, you know what I'm saying, things weren't always so green? When the first couple of episodes weren't always, you know what I'm saying, very receptive. A lot of guests didn't want to, you know what I'm saying, communicate with you. What are some of the times where you dug deep and really, you know what I'm saying, got in your bag to make your business grow, where you had to show endurance?
I would say more so. It came more so later on than in the beginning. In the beginning, I feel like everything was sweet. Everybody was very supportive because of me and my team, because I feel like I chose the right people to work with. in the beginning. I mean, things didn't always work out perfectly.
Had a strong team.
But yeah, I knew exactly who I wanted, in terms of who they were, their influence, not just their influence from like a clout standpoint, but also their influence in terms of the work they do, for what they're into, and how people received what they did, right? And how people looked at them, if that makes sense.
No, definitely. I get what you're
Right.
saying,
So for them, it's just like, we came together, we started doing what we were doing, and people were like, okay, this is nice that, especially to the world being so small, people were like, oh, I didn't know they knew each other. So us coming together, a lot of people came behind us and supported us and whatnot. And then, of course, the momentum died down, but that's also, I mean, that's regular. Like in every business, you're not always going to be perfect. Even if you're lit today, there's always going to be competition tomorrow. And not even just competition, but some people just going to, fall off from you. You're not going to be perfect the whole way through, right? If anything, it's more of a, I feel like the music industry is where it could be like that for most people, because, people are one-hit wonders out here. But, yeah, we expected that. We knew what was going to happen. So, we've just been trying to find ways to be innovative, be creative. And then, of course, too, not saying that we're in competition with anybody, but also to looking at what other people are doing, see how we could do things better and be more attractive and be more creative and innovative, right? And for us, we didn't really have that many issues in the beginning. It was just more so of what's next. That was always the lingering question, what's next, right? And that was the toughest question, but that was our only question. So it was a good thing because we were able to just focus on that, as opposed to now where it's like, we sometimes the scheduling conflicts, sometimes it's just the outreach, sometimes it's just, finding consistency where, for example, your episode, a lot of people tapped into you because of how you spoke and like how you presented yourself, as opposed to just them knowing you for you or for who you are. Of course, the people that knew you for who you are tapped in, but I feel like at least on your side, you probably did see like increase in your audience just because people were attracted and drawn to you.
Nah, definitely.
For like your presence and whatnot, right? But I can't say the same for other people.
No, definitely. And that's what I will say. From actually being a part of your podcast, it brought a better understanding to my crowd. So if you guys don't know, my niche is bartending. I run a mobile bartender service. And ever since I did his video, a lot of people from Arkansas, Trinidad, Jersey, CT, they reach out to me, other bartender services, and says, hey, I love what you talk about, how you teach bartending to other people, the tools for you to get, the drinks that you use, your liqueurs, and all of that. It's just knowledge, and for people who actually care about the niche. You never know. You might be someone who likes to who's into witchcraft, and you want to sell products on Etsy. If you make a podcast, or if you just want to talk about your niche on TikTok, social media, there might be somebody who's interested in what you want to do. But since you spoke about what's next a lot, I want you to bring up some of the professions that you had on your podcast. What type of entrepreneurs that you have that on your podcast?
I mean, I could do that, but I'd rather the audience go to my channel and check out every episode for themselves.
Yes,
but that's me being that's not shady, but that's me being. No, I don't think there's anything shady about that. But no, of course, take a look at my work. But for me, it's more so. I'm actually glad you asked me that because now I actually thought about it. It's more so refreshing to answer this question because I feel like a lot of these business podcasts that are coming out, they're very business oriented to where they try to stick to the same stuff. It's always somebody talk about real estate. It's always somebody talk about business funding. It's always somebody talking about credit repair. It's always taxes. There we go. That's what I meant. I didn't mean to say credit, taxes, right? And I feel like for me, I wanted to go above and beyond that. I wanted to give that local barber a chance to talk about what he does. I wanted to give that local DJ a chance to talk about what he does. Even some of my friends have made suggestions. Like one of my friends, he told me to interview like a bottle girl. And he's like, and at first I was curious. I was like, why do you say that? He's like, well, because everybody look at the bottle girls like, the BBLs, and they probably, smashing like one of the club owners or something like that, and they ain't nothing more. But there's a lot of these bottle girls out here who just do this part-time. The whole time she's a nurse, she's this, she's that.
They have a great background story and they love for the world to hear.
Right. And and even with the rappers too, it's like, I see a lot of platforms that interview rappers for their clout, but there's other platforms who interview rappers and they don't talk about the music or the clout. No, they talk about their personal life. What was your relationship with your family? Did you go to school? Stuff like that. They ask them all those type of questions. So I'm just like, for me, I want to be that for the business world where it's like, we're not talking about the guy that made $1 million of sales and that's his whole personality. He don't got nothing else to talk about. He's just there, thumbs up, smiling, suit and tie. Like we're not here for that. We want to know about what was your story? Because everybody has their little sob story that they do to get the emotional factor, like we spoke about in the car, right? The emotional factor to get like the audience behind them, but then it's just like, how does it correlate, right? Like, yeah, we always hear stories about people going from rags to riches, but how did the rags help you get the riches, right? Because like I said, there's some professions, it don't matter where you come from. If you have the talent for it, you're gonna be successful at it. It don't matter if you got a head start or if you're behind, you're gonna be successful at it. And a lot of influencers try to use that against people to where they're like, they try to make people look at them like this is me being vulnerable and whatnot. But the whole time it's manipulation, right? It'll be somebody that, again, like I mentioned in the car, I ain't gonna say no names, but it'll be somebody that, you feel me? And I know probably somebody gonna say I'm a hater for saying this, but I don't care.
You know what I'm saying?
That's a fact. I'm gonna say it because it's real shit. This is true shit. It's people that, like, for example, marketing and sales, right? It's always about personality and relationships, right? Those are two things I always say. It could be key when you're in marketing and sales. There's people that give you the sob story. Yeah, I was a single parent at 15, 16,
the
blah, blah,
story,
blah. I dropped out of school. And then one of my mentors just told me, come do this with him. And now I'm a multimillionaire salesperson or whatever it is. All right, cool. But I feel like there's people that, could have went to school for marketing and sales and been in the same exact position as you because they have those same qualities. And not even that, but they also not only do they have the practical knowledge, but they have the theory. Right. And that was something that was spoke about in one of my previous episodes I did with my boy Chuma, shout out to him, where he was saying, like, a lot of people in the tech space, yes, a lot of people in the tech space don't have degrees, but when you do have that, computer science or whatever degree, engineering, whatever you're into, those type of degrees, people look at you with more value because you have the practical knowledge and the theory behind it, right? So that's kind of how I see. That's kind of how I see that space where I just feel like, I don't really fall for like the influencer stuff. I don't fall for like the sob stories and stuff like that.
We see through the facade, yeah.
I feel like we all grind at our own pace. Some people gonna have a longer pace to go at. I mean, a longer race to run because they were behind. But some people gotta have it easier because they were ahead. But still, it's all about hitting that finish line. Whatever your finish line is, you gotta go for that. Because if you don't go for that, you're just gonna be stuck and regret the rest of your life. Like, damn, I wish I finished that race.
And that's a fact. And for you guys, I want to take it back a little bit, bring it down to memory lane. I want to bring up the educational aspect of Breece. So talk to me in terms of college first. I want to start off with college. I know it's kind of weird. Why are you starting off with college, guys? Well, from one, I feel like if someone talks about like the middle school aspect, yes, it develops character, but I also want to know, like, educationally, where did you want to go to school for? What was your purpose of, you know what I'm saying? Not everyone who may have chose that 4-year degree route, but you know what I'm saying? After you went to high school, what was your next decision after? I want to see what was your you know what I'm saying, your big move, your plan once you already got out of high school. So with that being said, what was yours?
What I'm kind of
as in, like, so college, what route did you choose? What major did you go?
So I went to University of Scranton up in Pennsylvania, and I've majored in finance. So I got my bachelor's in finance. And it was actually funny because, if anything, I would take it down to high school. I feel like a lot of people don't look at, and I feel like I definitely didn't look at high school in that way, where it's like high school is where it all starts in terms of understanding like what you're really good at, right? Like one of my boys, shout out to Zay from Surprise NYC. He's been into he has his fashion brand, right? But he's been into art his whole life, damn near, right? And he took all of these, AP art classes, all these extra art courses and stuff to get to where he's at for his brand, right? And for him, it's like he knew what he wanted to do. Like, he went the right way with it. He did this from young, right? From youth, right? And even for me, I did a career day, and there was this, West Indians, they mad extra. They want to really get on people, but there was this one dude that was really, going hard on this one girl because she could draw, but she shot, right? And he was always trying
shot artist, guys.
He was trying to push the girl. First of all, this is a kid. Like, you can't be, First of all, kids don't like to be told what to do. They don't, especially if you're not their parent. They don't like you trying to yell in their ear and stuff like that.
This is coming from someone who's not a parent, guys. This is common sense. But continue.
Right. And it's like, you know, you in this kid's ear trying to force her to go, you know, go to art school and take art courses and do all of this when she gets to high school. But it's like, if anything, you might make her not want to do that, right? And I feel like, you know, for us, it's like, especially too, as brothers of color right now, I feel like a lot of us, we kind of look at everything, and we kind of label everything, right? Like, and it's funny to say, because it's like, if you think about it, when it comes to music, right? Everybody that used to sing back in the day would be like, oh, like, you know, he's soft, he's, you know, he's, you know, I know you can't say certain words on YouTube.
Yeah, I know what he meant by that.
Yeah, like, you know, you can't say certain words on YouTube, so it's like, you know, I try to censor myself, but, you know, people try to label them as that, you know, if you sing, you dance, whatever, but now it's like, if you think about it now, it's like, you know, all the people, you know, the people that do the A-boogie type of, you know, the melodic music, the melodic drill, if that's what they would call it.
Beats.
If you would call it the Cash Cobain stuff too, like, everybody want to sing now, everybody want to, you know,
yeah,
especially too when they get around girls and this karaoke night. Everybody wants to start singing Chris Brown and stuff, but back in the day when Chris Brown was lit, nobody wanted to sing
like these are
his
not
music
artists.
Because again, people could think you sus, they could think you this, you that, right? But then it's like the same with dancing too, right? Everybody would do that. Everybody wanted to do that until, you know, Pop Smoke made it cool to dance in a party or something like that. And so, you know, they play like Capella Gray. Now everybody want to get light again. Like, but and that's the thing. Everybody want to get light in middle school, but now I was saying like, you know, yeah, we too old, we too big for this. This and that, third old. It sucks, right? But people want to do that, and I feel like for me, how this all correlates is like when you do these things from young, and you put aside what everybody's looking at, you start to realize, well, one, you learn your talents, but two, you start to realize how far you could take your talents, right? What if somebody told my bro, what are you doing all this art stuff for if it's not gonna get you in it's some nerdy shit, like come play ball with the rest of us? Because again, like I said, with the brothers, like we try to categorize everything, right? So everybody, all the brothers, like, okay, if you play basketball, like you know, or football, you cool or whatever. But even now, it's like I'll be seeing people try to clown the football people. It's like he only play football because like he can't play ball, like basketball, like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
And then when the football players come on the court and then they actually like they whack, they try to say, oh, I don't play basketball, I'm a football player. But it's politics to its own self, where it's just like black people, I feel like we gotta do better, where it's like, let that person who likes to sing, let him sing. That person like to dance, let him dance. You feel me? And not just him, but the girls as well. You feel me? Like, you know, if a girl likes to rap, let her rap. Because every time, you know, you get like a girl who actually can rap, unless she's doing like, you know, sexy drill or something like that. If she's actually like a hard bars type of girl, you look at her like she got like ego. You look at her like she's masculine. You look at her like she's not girly. Like, and then that's kind of how they try to do Scarlett. So it's like Scarlett should be trying to come out and be more feminine. It's like people try to like
bash her because it's not what they're used to seeing.
But then it's like, what about the Lola Brooke that is girly but give you the bars and she could rap and she,
it's definitely a double standard.
Now they come for her voice. Oh, she got a deep voice and shit. It's just like, bro, like nobody could win unless they doing what society kind of programs us to do, right? So now it's like you got the people that are actually making these things cool to where it's like now it's acceptable. But now you as the outsider looking in, you like, damn, like I wish I still was doing this from when I was a kid. I wish I didn't listen to those other people that told me, you know, drawing was nerdy or being good at math was nerd. Like there's people that really put down their academics just because people told them, oh, like you're a geek, oh, you
know what I'm saying?
And that's corny because it's like, well, one, you messed up your future listening to them, right? Because now you live in a regret because you probably wanted to go and dumb yourself down for them.
Number one. And
missed out on my opportunities. But two, is just like, you know, could have did better at other stuff. You probably could have found hidden talents, right? And it's like, for me, I'm not gonna lie, I was a victim of that too. Like, you know, I wanted to play ball. I didn't care about like other stuff, like even other sports too. Like there's people who, for example, myself, grew up playing soccer, right? Like I didn't play basketball first. Basketball was my favorite sport, but I didn't play basketball first. I played soccer. You know, I played rugby during my years. Like I played a lot. I played.
And these two sports that you just brought up, were these something that you drifted away from as you got older? As you saw yourself getting older, you saw your passion or your talent disappear?
Yeah. So, yeah, for me, it was more so like Soccer was just, I was just like, oh, you know, I come from a Haitian household. Oh, yeah, everybody want to play soccer and stuff like that. Rugby was something I got interested in on my own. So that's that. But I'm not going to say, like, you know, but I know there's probably kids who have those opportunities to start from young with those sports, baseball, you know, golf, swim, like even swimming. Like, you know, people look at those sports and say, oh, some sports is whack. They're not this, they're not that. If you black, they tell you don't play hockey because that's not a black person sport. Like, but whole time you probably nice at it. And now it's like you drift away because you want to go play ball, because you want to go rap, because you want to go do whatever everybody on the block is telling you to do. Or like I said with hockey, right? Because you're the only black person on the team, everybody on the team treating you different to where you feel uncomfortable and you don't want to do that, right? And I'm not gonna lie, like in all these examples I gave, like I didn't literally resonate with them, but I resonated with them and understanding that for me, it starts with high school because high schools be offering you all these clubs, all these extracurriculars, all these stuff,
discover yourself,
and where you could discover yourself. But you're so focused on being on the basketball team. You're so focused on
the popularity
doing music. You're so focused on even music. People don't want to be on the school band, but everybody want to be like the next Zaytoven. How?
I get what you have.
Everybody want to be the next Cash Cobain. How? Like
you got what I'm saying? You got to learn how to play the piano.
Don't get me wrong though. A lot of them probably don't know how to play instruments, but you could be even better if you actually knew how to play instruments.
No, that's a fact, my man.
You know?
Definitely.
Yeah. So I'm sorry for that tangent, but I feel like that kind of tells you where it all starts, right?
Nah, definitely.
So to actually answer your question though, for me that's where it started. I was always a math guy. So when I went to college, I knew I wanted to do something along those lines. I was tired of science. I told my junior year, I said, thank God I don't gotta take science anymore. It's like my senior year, because it was physics freshman year, chemistry my second year, and then biology my second year, chemistry my third year, and then fourth year it's like you could either do 2 maths or 2 science, something like that. I forgot, but I said I'm not doing no science. I'm done with that. So I did that, and then when I went to college, I said it's gotta be something like numbers driven. It don't even gotta be math, because you could go engineering, but I didn't want to do all the quantum physics and stuff like that. Or you could go into business and go into finance, accounting, which was more resonate with me. So that's the route I chose.
Now, here's my question, brother. There's something that comes to mind. Now, I hear a hardworking, you know what I'm saying, educated-minded person going into college, graduating with his master's degree, with a bachelor's degree in finance, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'm wondering, where does this finance major who just graduated, fresh out of college, where does this finance major become an entrepreneur who runs his own podcast? Where does the switch happen? That must be a change in, you know what I'm saying, mindset somewhere.
Network marketing.
Okay, so network marketing. We're going to get right into this, boss. We're going to get right into this. But why did this change make you want to go left and turn into this field where you are now, which you obviously seem 10 times more happier at?
Yeah, I'm not going to lie. I still have a 9 to 5. For all those who know me, you guys know. But for those of you that this is your first time meeting me, I'm an accountant. But for me, the 9 to 5, the entrepreneurship mindset switched in network marketing. So I was one of the Forex people. I wasn't one of the recruiting people. Like, I actually do like to trade. Like, I still trade to this day, right? And I was in it for the trade. I didn't realize how big network marketing was. I just wanted to learn how to trade and get up out of there, right? I was a part of that company. I don't gotta say no names. Actually, I was a part of 2 of them. If you know, you know. But I was in that, and I wanted to learn what I could learn and get out, right? Because I didn't know much. I didn't have no resources, stuff like that. So I'm just like, okay, if this is an opportunity that's brought in front of me, why not? Why pass up on it? You know, I took a course on investments in college. And again, this is why I emphasize, take advantage of high school, because now a lot of these high schools offer, well, not a lot, but, especially I would say more so the good, like, the
charter.
Yeah, I would say the private school. Like, I think my high school actually has a stock course now. Like, I didn't know that. I was like, wow, that's what's up.
Impressive.
I wish I had that back in the day. But, certain high schools, if you go to one of those, like, good high schools and whatnot, they're going to offer you those type of clubs and courses, stuff like that. So for me, I took a course on investments in college, right? And I was like, okay, like, I understood the basics of investing. I took a course on asset allocation, which, great guy, great teacher, great course. But in hindsight, it's like, I feel like this is something I didn't really need college to learn. But, the fact that I still had to take that course says a lot, because a lot of people think they know it all, but they don't know it all, right? So, asset allocation. And, I was taking, courses that have to do with just your own type of like financial management, if that makes sense, as opposed to actually learning like the finance industry itself. So, I was just like, yeah, trading would be fun. And as I got into it, there was a lot of personal development that had to be made. And at first I thought it was just, a sales tactic to get people to be recruiters and marketers that people were making fun of on Instagram. But I realized that this was more so personal development for your life in general, because there were a lot of those things that I thought was just applicable to sales and marketing that I started applying to my own life. You feel me? And even some of the concepts that I speak about on my podcast and stuff like that. And from there, actually being able to grow a team, just because I enjoyed making money. I enjoyed posting about making money. So it's like it came natural to me to where people would hit me up, hey bro, like, can I make money with you? Like, the joke, can I make money with you, big bro? That was literally happening. Because people were literally word for word, verbatim coming to me. Can I make money with you, big bro? And it took me back, because I'm just like, wow. I thought this was just a joke, but it's like, it wasn't a joke in the sense of what the joke is, because this joke is always the bums always come to you, but it was people legit, like people that I knew came from more money than I did.
If I'm saying hard work,
or I knew people that probably made more money than I did from their 9 to 5s coming to me like, yo, I want to make extra money. Like, can I work with you? Can I learn from you?
Now that's gonna.
I'm like, damn, y'all trust me?
About it.
Yeah, like it's funny enough too, because like at the time of recording this, like last week I had shared like a throwback post, like Facebook and Instagram show you memories, stuff like that.
Of course,
it was a screenshot. Well, actually, it wasn't a screenshot. Well, it was a screenshot, and it was me basically. I don't know why I was bugging like this, but it was me blacking on my friends in one, and then the other one was me with my other group of friends. And the one I was blacking, I was just like, this is when the meme coins were lit. So I was like, yo, like we up, like such and such just went up crazy. I'm like, y'all get in? And then it's like everybody in that chat, like, no, like, is it too late to get in? I missed out. Just tell me all this.
You was first to catch the wave.
So I was just like, I'm looking at them like, yo, y'all a bunch of busters. Like, y'all wasting my time, bro. They're wasting my knowledge. I'm here trying to put y'all on, but y'all just so worried about going out to party, right? When it's time to party, everybody active in the chat. I come talk and tell y'all we up. Nobody took the move.
The initiative to apply the knowledge that was taught.
And then the other chat, I'm just like, yo, by any chance, are y'all invested in this? And it's funny because, again, the chat that I put people onto, I took the horse to the water, none of them drank. The chat where I didn't even have a horse and everybody was on there, like, doing their own stuff, people were like, oh, you invest in that? I didn't know you was investing in that. Like, and I was like, damn, like.
You progressed more in the second one.
Yeah, and it's like, and these people, I didn't even tell them about it. I'm just randomly asking if they're into it because I know they're already into that stuff, right? So that's another thing too, just finding people that you relate to, right? Finding people that match your niche. Yeah, common interests, match your niche, all that. But I'm just like, damn, like, it's crazy. And I was looking at the screen. I shared it. I said, damn, I don't know who got me mad this day. But all I could say is, like, I had this one friend who hit me up from college. This dude is up crazy. And then why this morning, bro, I see a memory again of that same screenshot from that friend, bro.
Mm-hmm.
This dude was telling me, he said, yeah, like, yo, I'm not gonna lie, bro. I seen you posting about, like, certain cryptos and stuff like that. And I started looking into it myself. And I ended up putting 15K into this one coin. And with that 15K, I walked out with 860. I could show, matter of fact, that's how true it is. I'm gonna show you right now. You tell me if I'm lying.
Nah, for real, yeah. I'm gonna be the, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna be the judge of this.
You gonna tell me if I'm lying, bro. I gotta find this real quick.
Nah, word. I hope y'all in the comment section like what coin he talking about.
And it's funny because I sent like in the screenshot I like crossed out like certain things.
You know what I mean?
Especially for legal purposes. Like people be, oh, you talking? Nah, it's really like there's legal.
Show your account number.
There's legal stuff. No, not even that, but it's just there's legal stuff. Like even the disclaimer. Like I gotta say, hey, I'm not a financial advisor. I don't give financial advice to my podcast when certain people come up because they might tell you some stuff. Like they might even give you a play like for the short term, and it's like, but like it might be 5 years from now somebody watched the episode and they try to go do the same thing and it's not hitting.
For your,
so you gotta make that disclaimer like legally you do. And even some of the people that come up, they make the disclaimer themselves because they know for their profession, they can or cannot do that. So, yeah, I'm going to have to find out after. I feel like I'm wasting time doing that. But
no, it's all good. Well, I mean, we could jump off to the next question. I really want to pick your mind on this because you as an entrepreneur, of course, your time is it's constructed to a certain amount of things. You know what I'm saying? You're a very busy man. So obviously, you know what I'm saying? Your love life, your relationships, of course, that wouldn't be something that you would tread lightly with. Can you yourself date a 9-to-5 girl?
Absolutely. It's just a matter. It's just a matter of what you do. And what I mean by what you do, people gonna instantly say, "Oh, like he tried digging girls' purse. He listened to Fabio. He about digging her purse." Nah, not at all. But I feel like it's a matter of what she does because it's like she gotta understand like what do you do, and that's the thing too. Like I don't fully look at myself as just entrepreneur first. Like because at the end of the day, I still have a 9-to-5 that takes up most of my day.
You gonna come from somewhere now.
Right. And not even that, but even too, when I reach that point where I am a full-blown entrepreneur again, I'm going to like still look at, like who I'm with and what they do and see how I could help them and invest with them. But the reason I say it's a matter of what she does is because it's like I feel like to understand like what other people do, you gotta understand what they do as well, right? So if I'm into sales, right? I'm not like I know people be saying, "Oh, like being an entrepreneur means your significant other signed up for this." No, not really. They don't really have to do what you do.
It's by choice.
Like it's a blessing to have those people that want to follow along with you and do what you do. But I'm not expecting my girl to do that. But if like I said, if I'm into sales, I'm around people all the time. If I'm hosting events and stuff, and if you gonna come with me, like I gotta know that you good. Like with people, like you're good with people,
sociable,
social, you know how to interact, exactly, right? But if you're like someone that's thirst, that's mean, it's like I'm doing these events solely if that's the case. Like you might say you want to come support, but I don't think I could bring you around because you might steal away my clientele. You might, rub somebody the wrong way where it's like,
Nah, and speaking of which, we're talking about this. How do you feel, bro? Like, can you have a weak support system? If your woman, your confidant, your right side, right? Let's just say she's not so in tune with your podcast or the aspects of anything that you have going on. She sees what you have. Oh, yes, I think it's a charming aspect of you, but she's not, you know what I'm saying? Your late night conversation. She's not listening to your new ideas, your blueprint, what you have coming up for the future. Do you feel like that is a big part of being in a relationship?
Huge red flag. I'm not gonna lie. Huge red flag, because like girls be talking, well, not just girls, because guys do this as well, but we talk about how we want to build with somebody, right? We want to build an empire, we want to do this, we want to create generational wealth. And it's like creating generational wealth isn't just a one-sided thing. It's not just like I'm doing the work or you're doing the work. Like we gotta do this together. And even if we don't relate to the same things, we gotta, for one, we could definitely find common ground. But two, we gotta see how we could play off of each other. You feel me? If like a nice example I like to use is actually one of my previous guests on my show. Shout out to her, Diamond. She was saying how like she goes to networking events, but for real estate because she has a cleaning business. So it's like when she talks to these people that talk about having properties and stuff, she's talking about how I could, be like the cleaning business, right? So it's like you have Airbnbs, you're gonna need somebody that's gonna, hold down the maintenance side to it, right? And that's where she comes in. So I feel like if we could have the same type of relationship in that regard, where it's like what you do can match what I do, and like we could come together and help each other out, I don't see why we can't work. But if it's like if we're separated from each other and it's like you kind of on some like distant, you distant about that, but then you want to be in my business about everything else. Like, I don't know if I could really.
Don't show. Yeah, I get what you're saying.
Sometimes I might end up side on you for that. I ain't gonna lie.
You know what I'm saying? Don't show interest in a date that we have coming up or a trip, and then not care about. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because it's like for me, it's like there's gonna be them nights where I come home, I'm on that knock.
For real.
I'm gonna be exhausted. You gonna see it on my face. And you gonna be tight because you wanted to go out that night. It's like, mind you, it's like we might have said, okay, we can't do Monday to Thursday, but Friday night we could go out, and it's a Wednesday night, and you bugging me about it, even though we already got plans for Friday. You bugging me on Wednesday because you just fiending for attention. It's just like, damn, bro, like you don't see, like I'm exhausted. Like now I'm in this. Like I'm not gonna lie to you, like. It's crazy because I ain't mean no disrespect to that girl, but I deadass fell asleep on a date before, bro.
I wouldn't say
Like,
that's understandable, but you know what I'm saying? By all means.
Yeah, like I went to sip and play with this girl. I don't know if you ever been there. It's like this nice little like cafe. We got to play like board games and shit like that, right? And like we went other places too, but it's like when we got to sip and play, bro, like I was tired. And
Damn,
yo,
I
bro,
guess shit was boring, huh?
Nah, it's not even that. It's like, yo, bro, I was physically tired. Like, I got a lot of respect for Shorty. Well, I used to. I can't say.
I was gonna say salute. I took my salute back. I take my salute back.
In the moment, it's just like, yo, she understood. She was like, yo, like, you sure you want, like, you sure, like, cause it's like, you could have ended the day earlier. You sure you don't want to go home? I'm like, nah, I'm good. I'm here. Like, you know, I'm looking at my Uno cards. I'm just like blinking. Like, I'm just, you know, like.
You trying your best, yeah.
And I'm like, she was like, Breece, wake up. Like, she,
my boy.
I was just like, what? Well, I was just mad surprised. I'm like, yo, I really fall asleep. I couldn't believe that.
I'll be embarrassed.
I was just burnt out, but I was just like.
You told her, don't take offense?
Nah, she didn't take offense. Like, she wasn't upset or nothing. She laughed at me. Like, and then the next morning, she was calling me sleepyhead and shit like that. But you feel me? Like, she was cool because, like, you know, she's an entrepreneur herself. She had her own stuff going. But it was just like, you know, there's other girls who would have been like, that's disrespectful. If you didn't want to see me, you could have stayed home. But if I stayed home, you would have said, I'm not.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm not playing that pressure. I'm not doing what I'm supposed to do. Like,
it's more impressive that you went out your way.
I can't win in that situation regardless. You feel me? You would have said something if I stayed home. Like, so I actually sacrificed and came outside to spend time with her because I really wanted to. It's just I was so tired, bro. Like, it's not like, again, like you said, oh, was I bored? No, I wasn't bored. I actually, like, you know, I wanted to be outside. Hey. It's just my body couldn't take it. So it's like, if you're dealing with somebody that's working nonstop, whether it's a 9 to 5 or they're an entrepreneur or they got a bag of tricks, they doing mad stuff, you gotta be supportive. You gotta be like, you don't gotta be an entrepreneur yourself. But it's like, you just gotta understand what they gotta face. And that's why I say I like to know what people do, like, to understand the type of person they are and the type of personality that comes with what they do. Because in the same light too, you might do it, like, if you're doing something you hate and you're just doing it to get by with your bills, you can't come around me. And that's not even a dating thing. That's just in general. Because it's like, I don't need that negativity rubbing over. I mean, unless it's the weekend, sure, because obviously, you know, people free and stuff. But if you telling me, like, even as a friend, to come link you after work and you about to sit and
horse around,
no, you about to vent and drop all of this stuff on me, and it's like, bro, I came here for a drink and I just wanted to unwind myself, and now you put in baggage on my shoulders to listen to. I ain't gonna lie, it sounds selfish to some people, but to other people, y'all gotta understand what I mean. But
some can relate, definitely.
Can't do that around me, bro, because it's like, first of all, I might have had a bad day myself, but even if I didn't have a bad day, y'all putting this shit on me, and I was like, damn, I feel like, you know, I feel like now I gotta, what's the word? I gotta, like, have some sympathy and compassion for you, and now it's like, kind of drowns out my mood, basically.
I get you, bro. Wow.
Yeah, so it's like, for me, it's like, when it comes to dating somebody with 9 to 5, absolutely. But again, it's like, I gotta know, like, what is your day like, you know, because also too, I want to be able to, like, be helpful in my way. If I know you stressful, you talking to a lot of people, and, you know, if we live together and stuff like that, and you come home, you know, I'm not gonna make you talk. I'm not gonna, you know, I'm more of a, you know, I'm an action person, so if anything, I'm gonna do more rather than speak more, right? Because I know you're probably not in the mood to talk. You probably want to, you know, do what you got to do. And same for me. Like, I'm probably going to come in the crib. You could see it on my face. Because I'm somebody that you could like, you could really tell my body language. I feel like I'm easy to read. People say I'm not, but when I'm upset, people can see that, though.
No, you can tell. Yeah.
When I'm happy, people can see that. But then when I'm just chilling, like, cooling, like, regular, sit back, kick back, whatever, like, nobody could read me. And I'm just like, what do you really have to read except the fact that I'm laid back?
You feel what I'm saying?
So that's kind of how I feel with them.
Nah, word. And now I wanted to get this time to talk about this one specific thing now. Here at Drink Your Fantasy, we always going to get personal with our guests. I got this drink for you, bro. Tell the people what you sipping on today. You got that Dawn in the cup.
With the XXL, right?
So Dawn with the XXL. Come on, man. What I mix with that?
I had to put an extra lime in there because I like a little sour.
Now, I put an extra shot, and this man asks for a lime now. I don't know what's going on, brother. You feel what I'm saying? You double backing on me, bro. You feel what I'm saying?
I'll definitely take another before we end this.
So hey, come on now.
Or even after.
Show must continue. But now back to this question, bro. Since we're on this topic of drinks, a prime date example for you. You know what I'm saying? I'm assuming you're very intimate with the ladies. What's the prime date example for Breece? What would you do if you want to court to a lady, someone that you feeling? If you enjoy her time, her presence, how would you cater to her?
It's different every time. I'm not gonna lie to you.
I like that.
That's why I like to speak first. Like, it's weird because it's like I be like, and this is why social media is so like it's clouding y'all minds. Because in one light, y'all be posting stuff like, "Oh, everybody wanna like all these guys wanna link. What if I rob you, right?" But then when you actually do like, son, now it's all like, why we texting for weeks? Well, why you ain't take me out like 2 days after? I'm like, what you mean 2 days? I don't even know you, bro. Like,
you know what I'm saying?
But for me, it's like I'm more like I'm somebody that means I mean what I do. You know, I'm very intentional with what I do. So it's like
no bullshit, no capping.
So I'm a person that's like, you know, in like that first like couple days, even a week or two or whatever, that I'm getting to know you. It's like I'm trying to take note and understand I'm trying to understand like what you like. I'm trying to understand, you know, what you're into. And I'm trying to make that, you know, make that correlate to like what the first day could be like.
So where you want to make a connection between you and her from that spark.
Right. But also too, because it's like everybody tired of these typical like oxtail dinner like at a random restaurant type of thing.
You know what I'm saying? That should get played out.
Yeah, that should get played out, bro. Like,
and now
or the movie dates too. Like even I don't even think people go on movie dates anymore because that's how social media done got y'all to where it's like movie dates not even an option no more. But it's like how many times, you know, you just could take a girl out to eat, bro. She just could save you as free food in her phone. Like she not gonna jack that. So it's like for me, I like to look at things like, okay, if you like to do art, all right, we could do a painting. So, you know, if you're like a athletic girl, you feel me? I mean, it sounds weird, but I've heard people like say stuff like they go to the gym with like they significant other stuff. But we could go to
girl.
Now we could go to like what do you call that? Like we could go to like area 53, like something active, like something where we could do all types of stuff, not just where like we could do rock climbing, we could, you know, do all this fun active stuff, keep ourselves active. You feel me?
No word.
Yeah, cause like I never like date a basketball girl, but I know for a fact if I did, shit,
you know what I'm saying?
We gonna go to the court. Now, it's not really a date to me, but it's just like, you know what I'm trying to say? Like we go to a basketball game though. That's gonna be the date. But you feel me? I like to try to do things that like spark your interest, but also too, they don't have to necessarily spark my interest, but something that I'd be open to. You feel me? Like dated people that like in different industries where it's like even if I didn't know about it, I'd be with it. You feel me? Like I remember, yeah, I mean, even if she see this, she know what's up. But it's just like I did an actress before. She took me to see like the Wu-Tang, like you remember the Wu-Tang show?
Of course.
Like with Davies and all them. Like she took me to one of those like the showings that they had. Like, you feel me? So I think it was like a season finale too.
The season finale of Wu-Tang.
Yeah, it's like I'm not really into the arts and stuff like that, but it's like it was nice to see. You feel me? And even too, like I don't really date no girls that like do music, but you know, I definitely, you know, you could do a studio date. I never heard of a studio date before, but I'd be open to it. Like,
no, definitely.
I like to really relate to
walk in, send some good vibes for the
like
studio.
I do something nice for the studio, like or that for you in the studio. I should say.
Now, word, that'd be an intimate thing though. You, wifey, and tell a studio man get up out of here after we record the song. After that, it's just me and her.
Nah, you can't violate the studio like that.
Step out for a second, boy.
Nah, that's okay. Yo, that's great. You're gonna need an engineer too, because I don't know how to produce. So
nah, word.
That's something I would like to do though down the line. Get into the music side. I want to start my own label and all that.
No, definitely. Aside from this, though, we're gonna take away from the topic of your love life and relationships. What are some upcoming plans that you see for yourself with What's Cooking podcast and you as an entrepreneur?
Yeah, glad you asked that. So so I've done a lot of things. I've been a brand ambassador for a fashion line. It's not around no more. Obviously, What's Cooking podcast is my thing. I've done network marketing before. What else? That's crazy. Oh yeah, I was telling you in the car earlier about, you know, our Henny Taylorport events. Now we call it the home team players. That I don't know what's going on with that. It's in the air, but you know, that's also a reason why I want to start my label and stuff like that, so I could start doing those type of events on the music side.
Now that's hard.
But yeah, I was a studio host for that. Also too, when it comes to like my future plans right now, you know, shout out to my boy, the Stink by True, Don Vinci, right? That's our guy right there. He's doing this platform with me called In the Spotlight series for all the artists out there, all the musicians, whatever. Like, you know, y'all come in, y'all see what it's about. In the Spotlight is really more so like, well, actually, I'm not gonna give you that because somebody might steal it. So I'm not even gonna tell y'all what it's about. But you kind of gotta think of the name to know what's going on there. But by the time this drops, who knows? We can probably start anyways. But we're gonna do that. That's my nearest project there. Right now, getting more so on the vlogging side of doing events. Like we used to vlog events here and there, but it's just I felt like it was annoying when I ended up having to go to events by myself. I have to do the whole vlog. I know there's vloggers who do stuff by themselves, but I just want to be more involved with my team. And I feel like, my team's availability hasn't been there as late, so I'm not going to knock them for it. But at the same time, it is discouraging for me when I want to do those type of events, right? So
no, definitely.
Me trying to find somebody that, even if it's a friend, be like, hey, can you just hold this camera and hold this mic for me or whatever
Assistance
the case may be. Like, yeah, like if even my little cousin and stuff like that, I'm trying to see how I could get them into that. But definitely want to vlog more. Definitely want to start up the Spotlight series. Definitely want to tap into like some new ventures, more passive income stuff, like vending machines, ATM, stuff like that. I don't really want to go into anything too crazy. I know people would say real estate, but everybody's in real estate, one, and then two, it's just like it's a lot. It's more than people think. People just think it's LLC real estate vibes, and then get rich. Like it don't work like that. So there's that, and then everything else. I mean, I definitely say photography, videography. That's something I'm on the way with. I was gifted a camera for my what was it? It was a birthday gift, Christmas gift, something like that.
What's the brand of this camera, by the way?
Oh, it's a Sony. It's a A6100. I got offered an A7. I thought that was OD. I don't think anybody. I mean, that's just me. Like, I guess me like discrediting myself because the A7 was offered to me, and the A7 obviously is like the one that most of these professionals have, and that's like a $3,000 camera, and I just didn't feel right having somebody pay $3,000 on a gift for me. Little old me. I don't know. I just thought, I don't know. That was me getting in my head. People probably in the comments like, "Oh, he's bugging. I would have took that camera." I don't know. Like I said earlier, what Fabio said, digging that purse, I ain't digging that purse.
Hey, give me that A7, baby girl, right now.
I mean, I'll take that A7 now, though. Now that I understand the significance behind that camera, I'm just like, shit, I'll take that A7 from anybody. But
respectfully.
Yeah, so for videography on the camera side and, photography, that's something I want to get into. More of the videography, though, because I hang around a lot of artists, and that's kind of what sparked my music interest, because I hang around a lot of artists. I want to be the one that's doing their vlogs or doing their photography. So it's like, especially when they get up, now everybody want to look at me like I'm a celebrity photographer, videographer, stuff like that. Music videos, I like to see what's going on there. I know some people that do that already, so it's like I could easily get the mentorship if I wanted to.
Honestly,
it's just a matter of me having the time and stuff like that.
But honestly, I'm impressed though. You have a lot of coming up your sleeve. So you have this podcast that's in the works, brand ambassador for the clothing line, as well as this party that you throw annually, which will be on the works again.
No, it was a monthly thing. Like it was every month. I mean, don't get me wrong.
Even annual,
I know people that do it. So shout out to Studio 404. They're doing one for Halloween. I don't know when this is gonna drop, but they're doing one for Halloween. So
coming up, man.
Yeah, you're gonna see me there with my camera for sure, bringing the camera back out, brushing the dust off of it. We about to get to work with that for sure. We'll do some vlogs and little mini interviews, stuff like that, and try to use my podcast brand as what you call it, as leverage, basically.
That's crazy. I was about to say that.
Yeah.
Nah, word, definitely. But if there's anything you want to tell the people as a lesson before you know what I'm saying, dismiss yourself for today, anything that they want to learn from with learning from you and everything that you do.
Of course. Actually, it was actually something I was going to continue with right after. So understanding, especially as an entrepreneur, you don't have to do it all by yourself. And I'm not just saying from a team standpoint, but even look for collabs, look for sponsorships. There's people out there that will help you out. It doesn't always have to be monetary, right? There's going to be people that'll help you out in different ways, whether it's, promotion, content creation, even just to, like I said, when it comes to collabs, just put your name on the flyer. They might not even ask you to do anything. They just say, hey, just pull up, promote, and we'll put your name on the flyer. Now it gives you credibility. So now when people see the success behind the event, they're gonna be like, oh, what's Cookie was involved with this? Okay, I'm gonna tap in with them. There was one of the sponsors, like World Connections, right? A lot of people that came from World Connections, that's been on my show, came from World Connections and vice versa. I guest speak that. I mean, you've been a guest speaker on World Connections just from being on the podcast, right?
That's a fact.
So it's like it's nice hand-to-hand agreements there, where it's like, you don't really have to. I'm not now. It does sound a little lazy the way I'm saying it, but you don't really have to put in the work, and you still gonna get a little recognition, a little shine from it. So why not use that to elevate, expand your brand and scale your business and what you do? as opposed to you trying to do all the work on your own and put your name everywhere. Some people could be indifferent about it and say they just want to do their own thing, but you're not going to reach a bigger network just doing your own thing. You're going to need other people's network as well. You're going to need to really put yourself out there. Outsourcing is hard. It's tough, but how else are you going to do it if, you don't, let me rephrase that. You're not going to be able to just do it by yourself. You can, but it's going to take you way longer than if you have people that could help you out. You feel me?
The one-man army route, especially from being from an entrepreneur aspect myself, that one-man army go is not something that's convenient for anybody. And me running a mobile bartender service, shit only got easy once I picked up staff, bro. I kid you not. Being stressed out, having to do everything yourself is not the way to go. And think about it. You get you to your goal quicker if you had two trustworthy right-hand people, you know what I'm saying, who they don't have to be your best friend, but you trust them well enough to discuss business and they have your best interest in this, you know what I'm saying, in your career and your growth. So always think about that, guys. If you're running your business by yourself, you're putting those long hours in that garage, think there could be somebody to your left and your right of you too, who has the same goal and that same vision.
Yeah, and if I could add just one point to it.
Of course.
I was just going back to what I was saying earlier, with the youth and stuff like that. Like, for the youth that really do watch this, because I do know, like, I do, there's a lot of young guys that, look up to me and whatnot. I know they probably could check in with us, but
definitely,
take advantage of what you have, the resources. We live in a technological age. It wasn't as bad as I had it. We didn't have all the technological resources. We didn't have the AIs. We didn't have all this stuff. So it's like, take full advantage of what you have in front of you. Don't listen to people what they want to do. People telling you what to do, right? In terms of like what is right or wrong. Like, stick to what you want to do. Like I said earlier, if you into all these extracurriculars that your school offer, take them, because you're not living for those people that's telling you just play ball, just rap, just do whatever it is. You're living for yourself. So if you into certain things, don't pass up on those opportunities, because the money is being made around behind these things. And the reason I say that is because we just had a conversation in the car where we were saying, like, the people that do the most random stuff be making money. Like, people don't even think about it. Like, even so, and that's why I love my podcast, because even some of the people that come to my podcast, I'm like when they come to the studio, I'll be intrigued to start the conversation, because I want to learn about what they do, but also understand why what they do is so profitable or so interesting, because I wouldn't think that it would be. And when I really sit down and think about it, I'm just like, wow, that really makes sense, because of the simple fact that nobody else is doing it. So it's like, if you're the only one that's doing it, of course you're gonna make the money there, right?
Stay in your lane, man.
Like you was mentioning earlier, you was mentioning, like, like when it comes to like the maintenance, right? The paper shredding you was telling me about. Like, I wouldn't think that the person that, running the paper shredding business be making money, but a lot of companies need that paper shredded, right? You feel me? So,
and it's always good to think about the departments that are always saturated. You feel what I'm saying? Everyone wants to go e-commerce, trading, real estate.
Opposite.
You feel what I'm saying? You hear the same trio, the generic three all the time, bro. Think about other ways, you know what I'm saying, to increase your revenue, bro. There are other different aspects. We live in a world where technology is at our fingertips. It's nothing for us to get a free course or Coursera or LinkedIn Pro or, you know what I'm saying, Google Classroom.
What's cooking? Definitely show you.
Come on now, check this platform out.
Give you that free game. So,
of course. But before you go, use this time to any Instagram, social media platforms you want to show the people.
Yeah. So What's Cooking NYC on YouTube. If you want to find us on Instagram, it's What's Cooking _NYC. By the way, New York City, we talk a lot of slang, so of course it's IN. There's no G at the end for any of those. Same on TikTok, What's Cooking _NYC. In the Spotlight series, did we start a page? I think we did. I think it's literally just in the Spotlight series, but let me just look at my Instagram bio one time. I know this is probably unprofessional of me, but
we're gonna make it.
We got that. Even hometown players, I mean, I could follow them. I don't know I don't know what's going on there, but hey, I'm gonna shout them out anyway. Love is love, you feel me? If you want to check out the old clothing line, Boston Unlimited, y'all can check that out too. Yeah, that's really all we have there. The D-Road Connections. So Connections with 2 I's, ONS, right? Connections there. So 2 I's there. That's our networking page right there, and I think that's really it. I don't think Anybody else is getting free promo from me.
Like,
I'm not connected with them if I'm not involved in some way. So yeah, I think that's really it in terms of we get shout out.
well, definitely. But it was a pleasure having you here, brother.
Likewise, bro. I just gotta finish this up. So we gotta toast the rest of it, right?
Great conversation, Ken.
They gonna say I talk too much. They gonna say all that.
No, it's pay right here. This is 30. And we clipped it out an hour.